There are a lot of words that come to mind when I think races and fun, and up until today, conveyor belt was not one of them. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan, and I'm very excited to see this conveyor belt tournament unfold. First time we've ever seen a feature like this in Hot Wheels racing, and well, the Formula 1 cars and the Porsche will guinea pig it today. This will be an 8-team tournament trimmed from 8 to 4 to 2 to 1, and it will begin in round 1 with the Formula Flashback and the Porsche Panamera, the two first cars to head to the conveyor belt. And honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I have not seen this happen before, and it looks like things were about to come to a head here as they go up the hill and drop onto the conveyor belt. Panamera turns around and the lead is gone. Formula 1 fights against the backwards movement of the conveyor belt and actually takes that win pretty easily. Panamera follows backwards shortly after, and well, that was a topsy-turvy race indeed. The 959 in the winning Formula Purple edition. 959 and winning Formula. Out to an early lead, but honestly, can we even, well, take those leads for granted? It looks like things just go haywire when we hit that conveyor belt up the hill, and ooh, the winning Formula falls right behind 959, cuts him off, and back and forth zigzag. The Purple's got no chance, and he's turning around backwards down the transition. Wow, that was actually some pretty interesting maneuver down the conveyor belt. He cut right in front of the Purple and blocked his outcome. Mad Racer and the Porsche Carrera. Carrera and Mad Racer. Mad Racer, well, needs to speed up here. Falling behind a little bit by a length. Now 2, here they go up the hill. Mad Racer stays straight, and the Formula 1s have been much better at keeping control down the conveyor belt. Porsche all over the place again. And, well, the Porsche team is now down 2-1 here after the first 3 races. You can see the winning cars there on the near side by the track. And we'll add another Formula 1 car to that group. Porsche Carrera again, and the Formula Kmart, Texaco. See Texaco and Kmart written on the side of this black and white Formula car, who is down a length here on the bright white Carrera as we head towards the conveyors. Here up the seesaw, we'll call it. And the Carrera does not manage to stay straight and actually misses out on blocking the Formula 1. And the Formula 1 will race down towards the finish line and take it, leaving the Carrera up there hung out to dry. He does finally spin around at the end, but again, way late on taking back the lead. And we'll leave 3 Formula 1 vehicles here to the Porsche's 1. Now this is the 959 there for the Porsche team, Purple and Carrera. And I wonder if we'll get to see the 500 from the previous, the 550 from the previous tournament. That Porsche seemed to really bring the heat. Here comes the Carrera, bounces on the conveyor belt, and actually they fall off in the backstretch of the, as the conveyor belt folds over towards the ground. Not necessarily the backstretch, more just the back of the conveyor belt. But no, he was able to fight his way down. I think the pitch on the conveyor belt is just enough that cars can get some forward motion, even running against the tide here. But again, Formula 1, much better at staying in control. Maybe it's those splayed out wheels. Formula Hot Wheels and the Panamera. We got a bright blue Formula Hot Wheels, really classic looking vehicle, white spoiler on the back against the Panamera, bright white vehicle, looking pretty large out there on the track. Down by a length into the seesaw, takes over, cuts to the near side, and the Formula gets around. And I think that's going to do it for this race as well. Formula creeps into that transition and speeds down towards the finish line. And well, the Carrera follows a little bit quicker than usual, but still can't find control after the seesaw. All Porsche Carreras have been diving towards the outside and just spinning around. 959 in the winning Formula. Remember the 959? The only model that has won in the Porsche team so far. And we're hoping for maybe a second win from the Porsche team this time. Here they come. Winning Formula. Does he have the winning Formula here down the conveyor belt? Oh, 959 with the near side cut off. And he's got speed down the conveyor. He will have to go to the far side. And the winning Formula, well, he just has no speed after that block. It was a good way to finish off the winning formula, who actually had a gap to open. There's the Indy 500 and the Carrera. But, well, he was just taken over. And then, actually, the Carrera did a good, the 959 did a good job going for the block, then getting back to the outside to find some room for himself. Here comes the Carrera through the seesaw, bounces and is backwards. He goes up on his side for a second, and then he pulls all the way back to where the conveyor belt starts to turn over, but just stays on. Formula One will take that one, leaving only 2 Porsche cars going into the next round. Well, that Carrera almost fell right over, and actually would have fell off the back if he had flipped permanently. It actually leaves 3 Porsche cars. Do manage to have 3 here going into the next round. 959 in the flashback. It's been the 959s holding true for the Porsche team. Here comes the flashback, down by a length through the first straight here. Down the hill we go. And we'll transition into Sector 2, which occurs after that hairpin, which includes the seesaw sector. And the 959 just has a big lead, had a lot of space to work with heading into the seesaw. He'll turn around at the end for seemingly no reason, and he'll take this one. Porsche team still holding on, and I gotta say, well, Porsche team is one for holding on with their best racers. 959 here in the Texaco. I will say back in the previous tournament, the Porsche team did a good job, even when they were down so many, just holding on with the best of them. 959. Texaco, black and white, down the seesaw, even for both cars. It's going to be a race to the finish of the conveyor belt. Here comes the Formula One on the far side, but no, can't dive to the middle quick enough. And actually, by a length, it was the closest race we've seen today. And it will be a good finish for the Porsche team. Carrera on the Hot Wheels. Last of the Porsche team. Formula One has come up empty here in round 2, with both wins going to the Porsche team here. Classic Hot Wheels Formula One racer looking pretty good. Oh, as he bounces in the Carrera. Gets stuck up there at the top. It's a full 360 out of the seesaw. And he'll try to spin around there, but he's way behind. Again, you see the replay here down the final stretch. Winning formula was a cross. I mean, Hot Wheels was a cross even before Carrera found the end of the conveyor belt. Now we trim down on the Formula team. Purple and the Mad Racer. Indy 500 purple. We have the Mad Racer. One of them bright blue, one of them bright purple. One on the near side with a spoiler on the back, rising much above the car body. Both wheels splayed out to the side. Purple. Ooh, gets a good jump out of the seesaw and has a few lengths on the Mad Racer. We will have to end this race a little bit mad. Definitely won't be advancing. And we'll leave 2 Formula One vehicles and 2 Porsche cars hitting here into the semifinals. Again, Porsche 2, Formula 2. Semifinals. We have 959, we have Hot Wheels. 959, a nice silver car with a black and white 959 etched on the side. Down 2 lengths here as we head towards the hairpin. Here comes the Hot Wheels Classic into the seesaw. Speed out, dives to the right side. He has space. Here comes the 959 with space on the near side, the winning formula. He slows down, and the Porsche is going to grab this win by many lengths, actually. It was really good work on the conveyor belt, and I think it was one of the few times we didn't see a car try to put on any sort of block. 959 in the oval purple, and I thought the Hot Wheel Classic, I think he thought he had it because he got to the seesaw so early, but the 959s have done a good job speeding up down the conveyor belt, and that showed right there. Here we go. For the Formula One here, they have to win this. Oh, a good block right there. Purple to the near side for a second, and Porsche had no room to speed up, and that will be a win for the Formula team. That will really bring things to a nice head here in the finals, as we have one from each team. And we'll be battling out to see who gets to go to round 2. Honestly, I think Formula 1 has been the more consistent team today, oval purple and the 959. But the Porsche team has certainly put up a good show with their 959 vehicles. We are in the finals, so you have to win 2 to move on. Here comes the purple, rounding the inside line, ahead by a few lengths. The seesaw, ooh, slow for both cars, and the purple's backwards. And I think this 959 is going to come through. He kind of, rainbows off the near side a bunch of times, but he will take race 1. The Indy 500 Purple must win this race to push it to a final and third race that will actually ultimately decide the winning team of this competition here in round 1. Here they come down the conveyor belt. 959 tries to move to the near side to collide, and he's, well, up short by a hood length. Oh, the Purple almost skidded out there at the end, but the 959, well, he was just too far behind to capitalize, and it will still be a tie game. Here we go. Purple, 959, winner of this race, wins the whole tournament for their team. 959 ahead by a length. Here comes the outside line, and the Purple has it by a few lengths. He had trouble here last time as he went to the outside. 959 cuts inside. Wrong move for the 959. He'll have no space to get in front. He cut too early, and it looks like the Purple was able to stay in front. Sped up there at the right time down the conveyor, and the Indy 500 Purple will win it for himself. Agility and the ability to maintain control over all terrains is more important than even the speed out of the gate. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan, and Jaguar and X-Racers will take to the track today as we head to race 2 of round 1. The first couple getting going here. X-Racers, of course, the large vehicles on the near side here, and who took home the win in the previous tournament. Here they go. X-Racers on the far side there, slow out of the seesaw. Oh, the other team's turned backwards and is racing the wrong way, and he'll finish out here. And that will do it for this first race. Again, having control is very important on the track, and if you can get out of the starting gate really fast and then it just all goes wrong when you hit the conveyor belt, then, well, your racing is just not, well, it's not calculated enough. Draft Nader on the Jaguar. And, oh, sorry for saying, but it was a Porsche team who won the previous tournament. X-Racers were the runners-up, but still, very impressive finish in the previous one, and they're out for blood again in this one. X-Racers taking the first race, and here comes the Draft Nader, drafting back and forth, and now taking to the middle line, and they'll take this race and be up 2-0. Both of them controlled pretty well on the conveyors. But the X-Racers are faster. Crescendo and the Jaguar. Jaguar there on the far side, ahead by a length, and now 2, and it just starts to stretch out here. Number 17 etched on the side. Here comes the hairpin, and 17 rolls through it pretty smoothly. Here comes the seesaw. Can he stay straight? He comes inside for a second, and he dives down in the middle, turns for a second, and ends up over the finish line to do this one. The first win for the Jaguars. And now we're rolling here. X-Racers still so close in that previous tournament, Clear Speeder and the Jaguar, to pulling the first ever tournament-based races and fun complete shutout in round 1. They had 7, and it was a Power Rocket who came up just short in the final race of that first round, if I remember correctly. And they would love to finally put that goal to rest, but again, this time won't be the day. Jaguars, of course, picking up 1, even though the X-Racers now up 3-1 after this race. That's 17, though. Ford Force and the Jaguar XC. I am worried about, well, the X-Racers should be worried about him going into later rounds. Very fast out of the gate, and just gave himself a lot of time, even if the conveyor belt looks shoddy, for him to regain control. And even at that, his conveyor skills were unmatched. Here comes the XE. He cuts inside, but no need. X-Racers were just too slow, and no block necessary that time. And he'll come across pretty cleanly right there. Another one for the Jaguars. Chevelle on the Jaguar. I'm starting to wonder if we'll see any repeats from the X-Racer team. So far, no. Chevelle, Jaguar by a couple lengths through the Seesaw, but the Chevelle pulls it back and he goes nose to nose with the Jaguar, but ends up turning backwards. I don't know if he'll ever make it down the conveyor at this point. Jaguar will win. Here comes the Chevelle, finally picking up some speed. And that was at least a beautiful sight to see. on the conveyor. Did a whole 360 or more when it didn't help him very much. We're now even at 3 Jaguars to X-Racers. Gazella GT and the XC. 2 more races here coming in round 1 and not a repeat yet from the X-Racers. XE, Gazella. Here they go. XE diving into the near side, turns around, now he's facing away, he's around and outside. He's going to slowly make his way down backwards, but the X-Racers will get the leg up here 4-3. Down round 7. And you see, looking pretty good for the X-Racer. Chevelle, Jaguar, here we go. Another Chevelle coming out here. Remember the last one just was good, but struggled in the conveyors. Let's see if this one can fare any better. Here comes the XC down the inside line, and he's down by a length to the seesaws. XC, ooh, has a moment there. Both of them are turned back around, and now we're stuck on the conveyors. I think so Chevelle held out longer, and he's going to finally roll down here to the finish. I think that was the first time I saw both cars just completely balk there on the conveyors. And, well, still the X-Racers coming out on top. It will be 5-3. Here we go. X-Racers 5, Jaguar 3. Next round. Draft Nader and the Jaguar XC. Here comes the Jaguar. Here comes the Draft Nader, number 2 etched on the side, bright orange vehicle. Beautiful pickup truck, I will say. And both of them looking about even here. Here comes the inside line for the Draft Nader. Looked pretty good, up by a couple of lengths, but that completely disappears into the conveyor. Now the Jaguar on the near side, rolling down and holding straight, and had no problems maintaining speed into the conveyor. And that's going to be an easy win for the Jaguar team. And certainly cutting out one of the better racers from the X-Racer team this time. Tailgater and the Jaguar XJ. Remember this one, the number 17 from before. Just a true speedster out there in the first sector. And again, looking as such, ahead by 4, upwards of 5, now 6, even 7 lengths into the conveyor, straight through the conveyor, goes inside for a second, straightens out to the middle just like last time. And he's going to dive to the end here and pick up another win for the Jaguars. That's 2 wins for the Jaguars here in round 2. And the Clear Speeder and the XJ. If the Jaguars can take this one, they will have 3 going into the semifinals, leaving the X-Racers to hang on with only 1. Right now, looking good for that Jaguar team. Here he comes around the turn, up by 3, 4 lengths into the seesaw. Here comes the X-Racers, but he bounces away towards the outside lane, and now he's turned around on the inside. And, well, as I go through all of that, the Jaguars cleanly finished that one, and they'll have 3 going into the semifinals. Definitely worried about the X-Racer team here, but because of the performance in round 1, they will have an easy advancing of one of their vehicles coming into the semifinals. We got 2 X-Racers on the track right now. Chevelle on the far side over there, and taking a big lead early on around the outside. Hairpin keeps on going. Chevelle's have struggled to stay straight on the conveyor. This time, that is a, well, maybe a fluke in a good way. No, but he's on the outside. He grinds through the rail, and he does make it to the end, but oh man, that was a scary finish for the Chevelle. Definitely should check out that undercarriage. I've never seen something like that. It's just a grind to the outside like a skateboard. X-Racers with 1, Jaguar with 3, and the Chevelle pulled something unbelievable there, and got to give it to him. XC and Chevelle, not much time to rest. Chevelle has to get out there again for the semifinals. Here they go. Chevelle, well, been the strongest racer on the X-Racers today and pulled, again, quite an amazing feat down that final ramp. And here he goes, up by 4 lengths. A lot of room to play with in the conveyors. Bounces. XE doesn't look good in the conveyor. Chevelle goes for a cutoff anyway. And actually, he's on the rail again. He spins around sideways. He still finishes the race. That is unbelievable. I can't believe this happened twice in a row. XJ and XJ. I don't even want to talk about this race right here. I can't believe what I've seen. That's twice in a row that we've seen a car ride a good 4 lengths down the end of the track, One wheel hanging completely off the track. The 17 looking very good down here. And again, one of the best racers for the Jaguar team. And you would expect him to hold through pretty well into the finals. I am in disbelief at what we've seen. That's twice in a row. We'll see if he does it again. And even at that, he still held quite the amount of speed down the end ramp, even with one wheel not even present in the track. Here they go, finals, first to win 2. Chevelle keeping a decent pace along the 17, who usually leads by 6 lengths or more by now. So it will be maybe possible for this route. Both of them go haywire down the conveyor. Chevelle and Jaguar looking pretty bad. Here they come to the inside line. Jaguar way out in front as they finally reach the end. And Chevelle will have to do some work here in the next one. He actually bounces over the Jaguar up onto the checkered barrier there. And now we'll head and change lanes and see what they can bring here in the second race. Chevelle actually holding pace with the 17 here through the first sector. Here they go towards the outside line here. The Chevelle down by a length or 2. They bounce onto the conveyor. Oh, and 17 gets stuck on the wall. But here comes the Chevelle who pulls to the inside but backwards. Does a K-turn right there on the conveyor. Slides across sideways. Wow. A mishap on handling all the way around for this car, but somehow still manages to cross in front 3 times. This might be the most excited I've ever been here on Races and Fun, and that's saying a lot, since I've seen quite a good amount of racing, quite quality racing, over the past time I've been with you guys. Here we go, Chevelle dodging to the near side, head by a length. Jaguar trying to catch up at the end, and Chevelle stays clean this time. And he will take it for the X Racing team. And what a wild run that was to bring it home today. Well, in first place more times than any other racer. We'll see if that chaos continues today in Fantasy vs. Viper. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan, and we introduced the vehicles racing today, Fantasy and Viper, Exotique and Viper being the first 2 to race here. And we'll see how things unfold, and if the same chaos will ensue here in the third race. Exotique falling behind here through the hairpin. Here we go. And the Viper shoots out into Sector 2 quite nicely. Bounces on to the conveyor belt. Near side, far side zigzag. Finds the middle. And skids down towards the finish line to take the first win for the Viper team. Good finish for both cars. Actually smooth on the conveyor section. Dodge Viper and Robocar. It was just that the Exotique wasn't fast enough in the earlier sector. Here comes the Viper. Robocar much slower here than the Viper. Many lengths the Viper has over the Robocar, but he's all over the place into the conveyors. Robocar keeps the nose of his car face forward, but the Dodge Viper falls short, way short on the conveyor. He will finish backwards, but way after the Robocar, and that will even this at 1. And that will ruin any shutout opportunities. Viper in the Electro Silhouette. Beautiful Viper here, blue and white stripes. Electro Silhouette, more gray with a black spoiler on the back. And again, now we're even at 1, and that shutout that we've been looking for in a round 1 race, just not happening here. And we're already even at 1. Viper all over the place back there. Electro Silhouette will coast to an easy victory. And the Viper finally gets around to it. And he will cross quite a bit too late, actually facing backwards as well. Never a good thing when you're racing to put the nose of your car facing in the opposite direction. Let's go Eruption, let's go Viper GTS, a beautiful golden vehicle with SRT etched on the side, both of them sporting nice spoilers on the back. And the Eruption coming into Sector 1 here, now to Sector 2 with a 1-length lead. Here comes the Viper speeding up here through the seesaw. He's got it by a length or more. Eruption struggling to get through the conveyor, fighting against the tide. And he's not going to speed up enough to win this one. And the Vipers will take another win. Viper GTS and the Jet Car. GTS, Jet Car, I believe the GTS has a 95 there on the side in white and black. But a nice silver vehicle overall. Jet Car, well, Something's going wrong for him. He's way behind. GTS struggles into the conveyors, but the jet car actually couldn't even get out of the seesaw correctly. And I think that'll be another win for the Vipers right there. We'll take a look at where we are here. And I believe Vipers are up about 4-2. We got no names here on these two. Mystery vehicles, black and blue. At least as their main colors. I'm assuming that one on the far side is the Viper. Definitely looks like a Viper. Or if you're getting confused, the one on the far side now certainly doesn't look like a Viper. Wheels splayed to the outside, and one of the weirdest car bodies I've seen in a while. And the Viper there with his nice 2 racing stripes will come down and take another win for the Viper team. That will get it to 5-2. And let's look to the end of round 1 here, the final race, as we head towards round 2. Viper and the Night Shifter. Well, it's good to see we got some names back on the screen. And Night Shifter, well, he's shifting into a 1-length lead now by 2. Here comes the hairpin. Viper fighting back here. Now got it to 1 length. Trying to push his hood into the conveyor. He's got it. And so does the Night Shifter, who shifts towards the far side there and skids down towards the finish. And Fantasy Cars will pick up another win. And trust me, they needed it. Rally Cat and the Green Viper. Looks like we got one more in round 1. Now the score being 4-3, I believe. A little bit off in the numbers there, but definitely got all caught up in the confusion of the mystery cars. Here they go, Viper. Struggling there on the Fantasy Cars side, and the Viper will come across here nicely. There he comes. And that will do it for this round. Let's get a look here. Vipers with 5, Fantasy with 3. Head to the next round. We got 8 cars. Viper and Electro Silhouette. Saw these two earlier on in round 1, and now they come out to race each other. Electro Silhouette started in the lead, now starts to fall back. Here we go down the hill. Electro Silhouette looking to pick up some speed on the inside line. He does not. Now down by 3 lengths. Here comes the Viper, who bounces in, almost falls away. He zigzags outside, finds the middle, and he will straighten himself out for the win there. Electro Silhouette. Oh, what the heck happened there? His wheels are facing upwards. I didn't even see that happen. Oh, looks like he turned around down the transition. He does cross the finish line on his hood. Viper GTS in the Robo car. But that is can't be a comfortable way to finish. I better check him out. And, unfortunately for him, he won't be racing again anyway. Viper GTS, here we go. And now the Robocar, who struggled last time. Both of them are turning around. Robocar starts to fight his way against the tide backwards before the Viper, who's just stuck up there, stopped motion. And here comes the Robocar to the finish. And I will say, both of them disastrous, but you got to give credit to the Robocar. Quickest to try to right those wrongs. And that will give him the win. Never give up on a race, even if it goes awry, because, well, more often than not, it's going awry for the other racer as well. Green Viper and the Night Shifter. Comes the Night Shifter and the Green Viper. The Night Shifter actually falling back a couple lengths here, now 3 and 4. And the Green Viper is trying to take over this race before we even get to the seesaws. Here we go. Bounces onto the far side there. He's got tons of speed down the conveyor, almost like the conveyor wasn't even moving against him. And he'll cross the line easily. And the Night Shifter will end frustratingly with a T-bone to the side of the Green Viper as he'll roll off the course for today. Viper GTS and the 13 Viper. Vipers, again, they had 5-3 going into this round, and now they'll have to cut down on one of their own as we head towards the semifinals. Here comes the Viper, 95 on the far side, and, slow down the conveyor. And he will not take this one with the Black Viper with the racing stripe down the center, who will be moving on towards the semifinals. Had to look at that replay, and it was just, all over the place there for the 95. And with the Fantasy Cars holding on with 1 here, Viper still maintaining with 3, but things are going to tighten up quickly as we prepare for the finals. Robocar Green Viper. Robocar is the only one with the Fantasy holding on, and I will say, only by the skin of his teeth. only by a thread even, as, well, he won both of his races by mistakes from other vehicles. Here comes the Viper down the right side, and this green Viper not making any mistakes. And the Robocar is going to be out of luck, and so will the Fantasy team. This Viper's been one of the best ones out there today, at least at facing the conveyor. Even better overall compared to all the teams we've seen. Viper and 13 Viper. Here we go. Who will face the green Viper in the finals? Viper or the 13 Viper? Very similar names, but definitely two completely different racers out there on the track. Here comes the 13 on the near side, closing that gap and more as he's ahead by a length. Goes for the cutoff on the near side, does a little nudge there from behind on the Viper, and that will be good for the 13. He'll be nudged across the track, and he'll find some space there down the final ramp, and he will see some time in the finals, as that's where we're going to go right now. Green Viper and the 13 Viper. Both of them with bright and shiny wheels, at least hubcaps, as we prepare here for the finals. And we'll get that first race going. Green Viper ahead by many lengths, heading towards the seesaw. 13 Viper trying to fight his way back into this race, but the Green Viper all day down the conveyor. No mistakes. Looks like he doesn't even have a conveyor to race on. Looks like the conveyor actually is moving the other way when he's on it. Same cannot be said here for the 13, who's just finally getting down through the finish line, well, almost half a minute later. And that'll be one win for the Green Viper in the finals. I think it's very obvious to say at this point that the Green Viper is most favored to win here, well, going into this next race. He starts to pull away by a length or two. Now we head to the hairpin out of Sector 1 into Sector 2. 13 Viper tries to fight back. Oh, goes for a defensive move. And, well, ends up behind the Green Viper at that. And, well, that's going to be the end of it for him. I feel like that's all he felt like he had to do. Maybe some collision, some chaos out there to try to spin the Green Viper, who's just straight every time down the conveyor. And it just didn't work. He missed his mark by quite a bit. And, well, I'm Brendan, and I have higher expectations for the Ferrari and Metal M teams who are racing today. Let's take a look at the two teams as they come towards the track, lined up here, all ready to race. And Scorpio Ferrari F40 being the first two to roll out today. I'll remind you, the Vipers won last time, and the X-Racers won race 2 of round 1, and all the way back to round 1. Remember, it was the Formula 1 team themselves. Scorpio just dodging all of the commotion right there, not even wanting to get involved with the Ferrari mess right there in the middle of the track. And Scorpio will win here, take the first race for the Metal M team. Orange Scorpio and the Ferrari F40, another F40. And here they roll out. Scorpio, again, looking slower than the Ferraris through the first sector, but Ferraris, so far, having trouble riding themselves into the conveyors. Here we go, down the seesaw, and the Scorpio bounces towards the near side, and all way behind him. This time the Ferraris were straight through the conveyors, and they will take this race. Even at 1 already, and again, the search for a shutout is still in vain. Red Escape and the Ferrari F40. The Escape and the 40. Escape, beautiful red car here. Nice sleek aerodynamic body. White and black markings on the side, adding to the detail. Ferrari, a bright gold car, head by a length here towards the seesaw. Here comes the Red Escape. Will he escape defeat? No. Well, he couldn't get out of that seesaw, more like a spider, and has trouble getting through his web. Or at least a spider's victim. And, well, he's going to hang back there a few lengths and cross a little bit slower. Typhoon and the F40. And at the Metal M, nice large car of the Typhoon right there, blue and orange, a little bit of white in there as well. And the F40, rattles through the inside of that hairpin, but fast into the seesaw, bounces a little bit. Typhoon just way behind. I don't think he's going to have any chance to catch up, no matter what you do there. And again, the Ferrari team roaring back here. They are up now 3-1. Looks like the mistake of the one Ferrari there at the beginning is the only thing that really holds for the Metal M team. White Fang in the Ferrari F40, now yellow. And of course, White Fang being very white. White Fang looking like he's holding a better pace with the Ferrari team, still down by a length. The inside line was helpful. Wow, not so much. 3 lengths down now. Here they go into the conveyors, and again, getting stuck in that seesaw. Metal M vehicle is just struggling there. And the Ferraris will take another one. Well, it starts to skid there, but straightens out. And I will say the expectations are being met by the Ferrari team, but, well, not so much by the Metal M team, who, Toxic and Ferrari 355, who have just struggled to, even get through the track. Toxic dropping low and behind. Ferrari, well, doing quite well yet again. Into the seesaw we go. Toxic, oh my god, it is a struggle for this team getting out of the seesaws. The seesaw is supposed to help you. It's supposed to give you some momentum down into the conveyor, but, well, not for the Metal M team. And Ferrari will win yet another race. Orange Escape and the Ferrari F12. Let's throw another color escape out there, see if we get a different answer. Well, I'm hopeful. That's as much as I can say. Here comes the Orange Escape, trying to at least hold a lead through Sector 1. Not even close. Now down by 3 lengths again. Ferrari, trouble, turns to the inside, and the Orange Escape might escape the conveyor first. And he will. Ferrari, just trouble there down the conveyor. That won't hold for later rounds, though. Orange Escape's really got to pick up the speed. And the Ferrari team will fall to another race there. Scorpio and the Modena. White Scorpio. Can this one even win through Sector 1? I think the Ferraris won every Sector 1 race, if you want to split them apart there. And it's been a struggle for this Metal M team to stay fast. Ooh, and the Scorpio's around and backwards, and certainly not going to win this one. Here comes the Ferrari down towards the finish line, and he will skid sideways into the finish barrier. That'll be another win for the Ferraris, and that will really put on a dominant performance. Expectations exceeded, even. Let's go Ferrari 6 and Metal Machines 2. We go to the next round, and I'm dubious about the Metal Machines even holding through this round. F40 and Scorpio. I'm hoping for something here from the Scorpio. We'll see. Ferrari on the outside line here. He's turning, and the Scorpio down by 3 lengths here. What about the conveyor? Looking bad for the Scorpio, but the Ferrari's around and backward. Scorpio, he goes to the only place that he shouldn't be, which is right in front there of the Ferrari's nose. And he had a free win right there and decided, nah, I'm not going to take it. And, well, the Ferrari team will catch a break there. 355 in the Orange Escape. This is the last hope for the Metal Machine team. Will they at least get to the semifinals? Orange Escape did not look good in the last race, just managed to eke out a win. And this time, ooh, actually winning through Sector 1, but again, trouble getting into the conveyor belt. But the Ferraris are turned around and stopped on the conveyor. And it looks like the the Escape, will hang on for one more round. I wonder how many more mistakes the Ferraris can make to allow the Orange Escape to even get to the finals. That'd be a disaster. Ferrari F40 and the Modena. Yellow and red. Really adds to the color of it all. And it is the Modena. Dropping back here, F40, staying in front. And you can tell the F40's apart from the rest of the Ferraris by that nice, very obvious spoiler there. Here comes the F40, actually goes to the middle there and dives back inside. Same with the Modena, inside. And the F40 is going to stretch out the win by a few lengths. And it's a good finish. And we got an F40 and an F40. One more Ferrari will get to advance. Will it be the gold F40 with the cross, the black cross on the side of the car, or will it be the red one? There's some number there. I can't seem to squint it out. And maybe through the seesaw I can catch it here. Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because this F40 certainly not winning. Turns around halfway through the conveyor, and there goes all the speed, and there will be the gold one. Someone maybe comment below what that number was. Looks like it's in the 40s. Well, I can't seem to grab it with my eyes. Well, it's 3 Ferraris and one very lucky Metal Machine racer. This team, actually, I think one of the first times we've seen them in a tournament race, maybe the total first time, F40 in the Orange Escape. 84 there on the side for the Orange Escape, if you're curious. But, so you can't hold them to too high of an expectations. Of course, the Ferraris have been here quite a bit. But, certainly, been a lucky run for the Orange Escape. Not winning into the seesaw, struggle into the seesaw again. Ferraris, are they going to have trouble getting out of the conveyors again? It's actually close. Orange Escape needs speeds down the end, and he doesn't have any of it. And he will, well, come to an end here of his journey. And the Ferraris will win this one, F40, F40. But we'll still race out into the finals. We'd like to get the solo winner and just kind of take a look at where the winning team is stacking up as far as their best racers. 2 F40s, a yellow one and a gold one. The gold one with the black cross, taking it from the red F40 before. And it looks like he'll take it from the yellow this time as well. He was fast down the far line there. And, well, he'll be knocked onto his back by his teammate. I don't know what kind of interaction that's supposed to be, but we'll see the gold race again. First to win 2 here. We got a red F40. We got a gold F40. I think the red F40 had a yellow and black crest there on kind of like the shoulder of the car, right in front of the windshield on the right there. And, well, he's taking this one by a few lengths. Here comes the gold F40, bounces in, spins all around, does a little disco on the conveyor. And the red F40 almost stops dead on the track as well, but he'll manage to cross the line. And here comes the gold one. I will say, kind of speaking to the point again about the conveyor being unfair, it seems to me that the conveyor really does punish cars who can't stay straight. We've seen a lot of backwards racing, even winning backwards racing in previous tournaments, and now it's time to say no to, at least for this tournament, to some of that maneuvering. You've got to keep that nose forward, because as soon as you start to spin, I mean, it's over. You're losing that speed on the conveyor if you're spinning around. Here comes the gold F40. He needs to win this one to push it to a third race, and that's not going to happen. The red F40, actually one of the best performances on the conveyor, to run straight down like it's ice, and he will cross the line pretty easily. And he'll take this one for the Ferrari team and for himself. Of last race. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan. What was the culprit for the Metal Machine cars? The seesaw, which was a struggle for them through and through. X-Racers and Formula 1 will be racing today. Chevelle and the Formula HW to hit the track first as we head into round 2, race 1 of this tournament. And we'll see how they take to the seesaw. Again, the seesaw has been the reason for lost races. And, you know, well, the Chevelle right there bounces out of the seesaw. Formula 1 slows through it as well. And the Chevelle will come through towards the finish line. And it's been about staying balanced. Seesaw, you have to go up, and all of a sudden the track gives way under you and you fall through. And in that time, you need to keep your nose pointed forward. Too many times we see K-turns, loop-de-loops, and even just dead stops. Mad Racer and the Clear Speeder. Right there on the conveyor belt because of the seesaw. I looked to the comments for answers and saw that, well, one commenter speculated that the change of weight of the Metal Machine team, well, here comes the X-Racers here on the near side. Oh, cuts through right in the transition piece and beats out Formula 1. And now X-Racers got 2-0 here going into race 3. And, well, working on that shutout. One of the commenters speculated that the fact of the Metal Machine team was a little bit lighter, Crescendo and Indy 500, than all the other teams is what made it harder for them to stay balanced at the heights you reach when you run up the seesaw. And that may be true. They really struggled staying straight. All the speed usually lost through that transition. And right now, all the speed was lost for the X-Racers, who again fall short of their shutout, as one Formula 1 will cross and end those hopes. And seems like I bring it up every time now, but with that recent event of the Power Rocket being the only car in round 1 to not win back in the previous tournament, the shutout seems possible. Winning formula and the forward force. And the X-Racer team was, of course, the team coming that close with a 7-1 in that round 1. And you can only hope that they have it in them to maybe make it happen in the future. X-Racer team on the near side. By a length now, 2 cuts over to make sure Formula 1's got no chance. And he will shimmy over towards the finish line and wrap things up for this race. Now 3-1. X-Racers coming out strong here in round 2. Nitro Tailgater in the Indy 500. Tailgater, 500. 500 there on the far side, stretching it out by a couple of lengths. Here they go to the hairpin. And looks good for the Formula 1 team. Here they go through the seesaw. X-Racers want to catch up here, but bounces too much on the conveyor. And I think the size of that vehicle just made it hard to straighten out. And Formula 1 will strike back and make it 3-2. Now, I will say, something that could be worked on here at Races and Fun is the naming for all the tournament structure. We got rounds within each round, Formula K and the Draftinator. And we call all the rounds here in a particular video, rounds 1 through 4, semifinal round, final round being that 3 and 4. We also call each round of the tournament as we go from 8 teams down to 4, 4 to 2, and 2 to 1, rounds in and of themselves. Maybe matches would be the better word, and right now Draftinator knows the best word you could say at Races and Fun, which is win, as he comes across way in front of Formula 1 and now brings it to 4-2. With 2 races left to go here in round 1. Chevelle and the Formula Flashback. I believe it was this Chevelle that grinded like a skateboard on the previous, in the previous round. And we'll see how he runs this time. I can't be sure, though, because I will say both Chevelles look similar. Oh, Chevelle's backwards, so Formula 1 has a chance to come back through, but they're both here on the near side. Formula 1 dives away, but he has no speed coming out of the conveyor. Actually, he made the right move there. You know, bobbing and weaving and trying to find that empty space, but just not fast enough. Even the Chevelle taking his time there on the conveyor just had such a lead in Sector 1 that it just wasn't going to happen for Formula 1. Winning Formula and the Gazella GT. Formula, Gazella, and the Formula 1 team could use a win right here. They are down 5-2, and I think they heard me say that as the lengths of the Formula 1's lead continues to grow. The X-Racers move on the near side, but they're cut off in likeness. And Formula 1 will skid to the end and make it 5-3. Advantage for the X-Racers for sure, but Formula 1's got a lot of racers to play with here as we narrow towards the semifinals. Let's see what we got going here. We got both Chevelles. I believe it was the first Chevelle, the left Chevelle, that has a little bit of white on the body. 5-3 again. Was the one that went chaotic in the previous race, the previous round. Draftinator winning Formula. Previous match. What do you want to call it? Actually, and then we'll ask the comments here. How do you want the naming convention for each of the different rounds here at Races and Fun to be called? Whatever's easiest for you guys would be easiest for me. Formula 1 gets nudged there on the nose by the Draftinator and just nudged towards the finish line. And, well, Formula 1 will start strong here in the second round. Clear Speeder in the Indy 500 oval. Speeder, Indy 500 on the near side here. Beautiful white car, spoiler on the back, wheels splayed out towards the side. Dark wheels too, not much going on there in the hubcaps, and not much going on there speed-wise, down by 2 lengths. Here comes X-Racers, Clear Speeder, clearly speeding towards the end of that transition first, and will lengthen that lead as he crosses the finish line and wrap things for the X-Racers in this race. We'll be even at 1 here. The Indy 500 just had trouble getting out of the gate. Honestly, it was lost from Sector 1. 69 Chevelle in the Indy 500. The chaotic Chevelle. This is the one that we saw do unbelievable things in the first round. And how is he going to look today? Oh no! He goes backwards and his run is over as Formula 1 races to the finish. I couldn't even call that a K-turn because he well, just kind of spun. He didn't use any of his space well. And he didn't have any speed through Sector 1. That's usually the mistake for the Chevelles. It's their performance in the first sector that determines the later one. Chevelle and forward force. Remember, this particular Chevelle, if my memory is best, actually was out in round 1 last time. For the same reason as we just saw the previous one lose this race. Here he comes, Blue Chevelle up by a few lengths, bounces onto the conveyor. Ooh, trouble getting off the seesaw, but somehow straightens out. He's going against one of his own, though. So a little bit easier on the car. But X-Racers will send their best to the semifinals. And if I were the X-Racers, I'd be telling any non-Chevelle to maybe throw the race just for this particular tournament at least. 2 Formula 1 vehicles, 2 X-Racers. That's how we'll roll into the semifinals, which is good. It's good to see competition even out like that. Winning formula and the clear speeder. Both cars sporting names that insinuate an easy victory. The question is, will any of these vehicles be able to have that right now? Formula 1, head by a length. Here comes the clear speeder on the far side. Actually bounces away and turns around, and the winning formula once again holds the line down the rail, hugs the side, and has no problem down the conveyor. Definitely a car to look out for, as every single time the conveyor has been easy work. And you see it right there. Look at the distance between the two, and the clear speeder is, well, he's no X-Racer to sneeze at. 500 oval in the Chevelle. Chevelle must win here to make the finals, well, worth watching for an X-Racer fan. Chevelle actually struggling to keep up with the Indy 500 through the first sector. Not looking good for the Chevelle if he's down going into the conveyor, but the 500 loses all speed as he bounces onto the conveyor. Chevelle will come across, and the finals will be interesting for both sets of fans. You see it go south there for the Indy 500, even out of the transition. Just did not look like he was in control of his wheels. And that's going to do him in. First to win 2 races. You guys know the deal. Winning formula and the Chevelle. 2, I was hoping to see race against each other in the finals, and we do get to see that. Chevelle on the far side, losing ground. And he has lengths to make up here, starts to make them up here through Sector 2 into the seesaw. Now he's got the lead, and the winning formula loses out, dives to the near side. The empty space was there on the far side, but he didn't take it. Chevelle was stopped dead for a second, and the winning formula just didn't see the right move. And the Chevelle will catch a break. I thought for a second there Chevelle might even start to spin around, but just was able to keep straight, and man, I just don't understand what the winning formula was thinking, diving inside, right behind the Chevelle. All the space was there. Here we go again, in the winning formula, ahead by a little bit. Chevelle, trouble on the far side wall. And well, the winning formula will grind it towards the end. And we're now even at 1. Making for a good finals here. I always love to see a finals that goes to the 3rd race. And that it will. Chevelle also hops and skips there out of the transition. Here we go, they change lanes and we're even out of the gates. Here comes the winning formula, starting to stretch out that lead by a length now. Here comes the hairpin. Chevelle trying to fight his way back. He does! We're even through the seesaw, onto the conveyor belt. Chevelle is 360'd and barreled and facing backwards. And the winning formula, well, the formula holds true, as he is not going to lose this one. 2 wins for the winning formula, as the Chevelle couldn't find control out of the seesaw. I don't know what happened. Looks like he almost made momentum out of nowhere when he made that flip. And that flip will do him no good, and the winning formula will take it for the Formula 1 team. That knocks out the X-Racers, who won't make it to the finals this time. Certainly a quite an imposing team to see. Racers, a usually unwavering, even savagely speedy team, you might say, will not be advancing to the finals. They got knocked out in the last round, and now it's only the Formula 1 cars that will stand between the winner of today's round and the Victory Cup. Vipers and Ferraris will be the 2 teams racing, and you can see the relief in their wheels as they realize the X-Racers are not going to be a problem. Definitely surprising to see them fall short last time, but well, thus goes the way of racing. Here we go. Oh, spinning around. It's like a carnival out there on the conveyor. And we're backwards and forwards. And that race will be an odd way to start today's second round of the second round, you might want to say. As we pull ahead. Here, we have Ferraris. We have SRT Viper. Viper there on the far side in gold. Ferrari's here on the near side in red. And we fall down that ramp and come on the inside of the hairpin. And the Viper's down by a length here through the seesaw straight as he bounces onto the conveyor. Hugs the inside line, but it's way behind as we cross through to the finish line here. And the Ferraris will pick up a win. And Viper's just had a struggle getting through the seesaw. Couldn't keep balance with that height that you gain there. Viper and Ferrari F40. F40. Viper here on the near side. And the F40 starts to stretch out that lead by 2 and now 3 lengths. Here we go around the hairpin. Viper starting to catch up here on the far side. Bounces on the conveyor, hugs the far side. Wheel gets caught like it was in a net. And the Viper will struggle to catch up here. Actually, Ferrari slid across the line sideways. Was parallel with the finish line as he finished. But still had a lot of time in the maneuver. Ferrari and Viper. We go Viper there on the far side, Ferrari on the near. And Ferrari a bright red with 40 etched on the side there. You can see it all the way from here. Really big number. And a beautiful car, sporting a big lead as we head to the conveyor. Bounces on, turns around. Viper's got a chance, goes to the inside, zigzags out, but the Ferrari goes to cut him off as he slides away backwards. What steering maneuvering he needed to have right there to make that happen. And Viper was stunted at every try he made to take the lead. Good defensive driving after a terrible mistake through the seesaw. We have Viper, we have Ferrari. Ferrari white there on the far side, and Viper here black. We got a nice black and white cookie of a race coming here. And it looks like Ferrari is stretching out that lead. Here comes Viper trying to pull back a lead here at the end. He's actually speeding up through the conveyor. We got room here at the end. Ferrari holding lead by a few lengths, and there's enough time. Well, there's not enough time for the Viper to catch up, and exactly enough time for the Ferraris to hold that lead. F40 and the Viper GTSR. GTS and the F40, both of them with spoilers on the back. This F40 looking similar to that one with the bright number on the side, but this one not as flamboyant in its decoration. GTS, on the other hand, looking nice and shiny, and could use to gain some speed here, but certainly a beautiful car nonetheless. He will fall short of winning. And the Ferraris will pull that one together as well. Viper and Ferrari Modena. Come on, Vipers. Vipers have work to do. They're down by quite a lot. And we're hoping that maybe the Modena will fall short here. The Viper team's hoping that at least. Obviously, the Ferrari team is going for complete domination if possible. Viper, bounces onto the conveyor. And the Modena straightens out quicker. Finds speed down the conveyor and pushes through that backwards movement of the belt. And there you have it. We have Ferrari F40 and the 05 Viper. And they have a prayer here. White racing stripe down the center. Dark blue body. Normal wheels. Not very shiny, but not very dull either. And doesn't matter. He's up by a couple of lengths. Here we go to the conveyor. And has it by a moment. He goes for the cutoff, but way too late. Noses the side of the F40. And I took so much time describing the car, I didn't spend time pointing out that the Viper made a lot of bad decisions during that race. He had the lead. He really should have just gone right to the end there and put it away. Vipers hang on with one. Ferrari's second team to almost pull a shutout here in tournament play. 7-1. It was that first race that couldn't go the way of the Ferraris. And unfortunate for them. And the Vipers, again, hanging on with one here. It is this beautiful silver car, convertible even, with some sort of sports ball etched on the side. Ferrari's looking to put that Viper out of its misery as well. Here we go. Tie into the seesaw. Viper's trying to pull ahead here. Good cutoff, but he's backwards. Ferrari's got to lead, and we're spinning around like a carousel. And the F40, actually just the Ferrari, will pull his way to the finish, and the Viper will slowly cruise down to the finish line and then off the track completely as the Vipers fold this one early to the Ferrari team, and now it will just be playtime for the Ferraris as they will actually get some practice in when they will be facing the Formula 1 team in the next race. That will be a tough race. Formula 1 is actually even better than the Ferraris, I'd say. Here's the 1512 in the Modena. Even better than the Ferraris, I'd say, as far as staying straight down the conveyor and really being able to fight against the tide. But it will be close between them. And it's just going to be up in the air when it comes to that. Here comes that red Ferrari down the end here, and he's going to cross a few lengths ahead and move on to the next round. Ferrari's having the field day. F40, F40. Actually, we saw this kind of finish last time when they faced the Metal Machines. And it just came down to a bunch of F40s going at it. I believe it was the gold one. Oh, no, it was the red one. I think it was this red one right here who actually took the overall victory. Here he's going for one again. Cuts to the near side. The yellow one goes for a good defensive move as he pulls the nose in front and stops some momentum on the F40 of red color. And it will be the yellow F40 to try his luck towards the end this time. Gold and blue. We do have F40s, and remember this gold one, nice black and white cross on the shoulder. Very distinct in color and in its insignia. And here we go as we head towards the conveyor belt. Gold not looking very good, but the blue struggles in the conveyor, but it's not going to matter as the gold decides to put the spoiler towards the finish line. And he won't succeed at all. I wonder how the Ferraris will do against the Formula 1 team. I'm trying to get a sense of what kind of racing we have here. We have 4 Ferraris left, of course. And how that might match up against the Formula 1 team. Again, I'm seeing more mistakes on the conveyor from the Ferrari team, but I am seeing some good speed down Sector 1. Ferrari F50 and the F40. And this one, as you can see, a yellow and black insignia on the shoulder. And pulling ahead here by a length into the conveyor. We are even. Oh, yellow goes haywire on the belt. And this Ferrari of red will take it to the finals. He will be in the finals now. And slides across. But way late. And see, that's where the Formula 1 team has not had much trouble. See, we won't see much spinning around from them. And now, there are some Ferrari cars who will not lose control of F40 in the Modena. But is it going to be enough? And will they have enough speed in Sector 1 to actually beat Formula 1 in the overall competition? Here we go, blue F40, we have the Modena. Into the inside line here, F40 ahead by 3 lengths, even 4. The conveyor bounces on. Modena going for a cutoff, but way late. Barely ticks the back of the spoiler, and that's not going to phase the F40 at all. And the Modena, again, shows that sometimes some defensive driving can be a mistake. I mean, we've seen that many times today. If you're even with the other car and you go for a greedy cutoff, it's just not the move. You really got to do that when you have a lot of room and you think you might lose it down the back straight. And again, the thought process there, not complete. Finals. First to win 2 will have it. We got F40, we got F50. F40, F50. Blue and red. Can't get any more simple than that. Simplest of colors, simplest of names. And who will have the simplest of races down to the finish? Hopefully no chaos required. And that will be the F40, who just goes right down the conveyor. Not even any pause for hesitation. Almost looks like he sped up as he got further along down the belt. And, well, he's starting off well here in the finals. We will change lanes, and then we'll see that blue F40 on the near side. The F50 Ooh, starting well in Sector 1, trying to edge that lead. He's got it by a hood length. Needs to hold here through the hairpin. Starts to lose it, but gains it back. Here comes the seesaw. Now down the seesaw. Hugs the inside of the F40. Finds the right time to cut him off. And he'll take that to the finish line. Looking, well, the best for his team right now. That was a beautiful and intelligent way to approach the conveyor. And he deserves the win today. Blue F40 winning it for the Ferrari team. Ferrari team easily beating the Viper team. And we'll see you next time for the final matchup in this tournament. Two teams who have bested all the others in this 8-team tournament. We head to the finals. These two teams pretty evenly matched. We've seen them both be dominant in their other two respective rounds. And now it's time for them to face off. We can see them down there readying up as we have the Modena and the winning Formula. They'll be the first two to step onto the course today. Modena winning Formula. Two cars who performed quite well over the last couple of rounds, making it to the semifinals at least. And looking pretty even here coming into the seesaw. Here we go, winning Formula on the near side. Modena goes for the cutoff but can't get it. Only down by a length though. It could come back here at the end. Winning Formula slow to the end and the Modena might have it. He skids and sideways for a second, but I can't tell. I think it was the Modena coming up a little bit short at the end, so that's going to be a win for the Formula 1 team. But man, that was close. We didn't get a nice replay on that, but I think on the one replay we got, it was pretty clear that the winning Formula was fast enough. Oh my god, we had a car stop there right on the conveyor, and the Formula 1 team will take their second win with absolutely no problem. And it's going to be 2-0. And one cross sideways as well. That's tough on the Ferrari team. Actually, this was the only Ferrari car that lost in round 1 in the previous video, so rightfully so, I guess, for him. Ferrari and Formula HW. Now to race 3 here. 3 of 8 here in round 1. And the HW pulling out a few lengths here through the first hairpin. Now it's about even. 1 length between them into the seesaw. Here comes Ferrari, but he spins around again. And it looks like the Formula 1 team is going to continue the shutout possibility of 3-0. Ferrari has struggled to stay in control on the conveyor belt. And I did talk about this in the previous video, that this might be a struggle for this team. Especially against Formula 1, who has seemed to never have a mistake once they hit the belt. We got Ferrari F50 and the Indy 500 Oval. One of the better racers on the Formula 1 team, maybe even the captain. Well, I am not sure. 500 Oval falling back here early on in the F50. And they're looking to stretch out a nice lead here, trying to be controlled into the seesaw. Keeps control, dodges to the middle, now outside. Didn't even need to cut him off there. He has the win. And that will put any shutout opportunities out of reach for this particular race, as it now is 3-1. F40 and the Texaco. I will say I saw a couple comments over last couple of videos featuring this Formula 1 team that the Texaco was their favorite design of the bunch. And I will say that black and white paint choice really catches my eye as well. Unfortunately for the Texaco, he's not catching anyone's eye when it comes to speed, as he will cross way behind the Ferraris, who will now make it 3-2 as they start to climb back into this one. Terrible finish, I will say, and tough out of the gate for the Texaco. F40 and the 500 Oval. 3-2. Formula 1 is up 1. And it looks like the Ferraris want to even it at 3 here, as they're taking a huge lead going into the conveyor. And down, straight through the conveyor he will go. And this F40, who won the previous tournament overall singularly, will be moving on in the next round pretty easily. Tough finish there for the Formula 1 team, who's starting to lag behind. It is that Sector 1 speed that's been such a problem. F40 and the Mad Racer. Golden F40 looked pretty slow in the previous video as well, and starting to lag behind here against the Mad Racer. And here we go to the hairpin. He tries to climb back into it. No. Starts to fall behind more lengths. Here we go. F40 on the far side. Here is some speed coming up. He cuts to the inside. Down the middle. Has it by a length, and now 2. The Mad Racer. couldn't keep it up through the conveyor. Was straight, but lost all that speed. F40 in the winning formula. We've seen good things from this winning formula before. And, well, this is the time to see good things again. He's up by a length here into the hairpin. He gets inside line. Has 2 lengths ahead into the seesaw to work with. Ferrari, he's rounded backwards, and he's faced the wrong way. And as he spins around, winning formula will put on the gas and get to the end here. That'll be a good way to finish round 1 for both teams. Both of them got quite a healthy amount of racers to look towards round 2. Look at the distance between those two, though. You can't stall on the conveyor. That's the death of a racer in this particular cup. Formula 4, Ferrari 4. We are even, and you expect nothing less from these two teams. And now it really comes down to it here. Flashback on the F50. Racing out again. Flashback got lucky last time. Very slow out of the gate, and here we see it again. But the Ferraris couldn't stay straight, and the Flashback just kind of cruised to the end, even though he had absolutely no business winning the race. This time, the Ferraris are going to stay more on their wheels, and the Flashback will flash right back to the bench and sit the rest of this one out. I had trouble with the transition piece. Got caught there on the plastic railing. I mean, come on. I mean, what does that say about this race? Supposed to help you out, I would say. Those are the guidelines. Winning formula and the F40. These two, on the other hand, a little bit more capable racers. F40 struggled out of the gate. He starts to gain back that lead really quickly, though we're about even down the first hill. And we'll leave Sector 1 with the F40 at the advantage. Winning formula looking to the inside line here of the seesaw. Comes out pretty fast, so does the F40. It's going to be hard to catch up here. And F40 stays straight down the last back stretch, and he will take it by a few lengths. And now we got the HW in the F4. Slowly trimming down the amount of vehicles as we move towards the semifinals. Golden F40, that black and white insignia on the shoulder. And coming in towards the near line here on the seesaw. HW, trouble out of the seesaw, and this gold F40 will take advantage of that downfall. And he will be moving on as well. Not very close races, except for a couple. Like there at the beginning, that first race was quite close, but it's been pretty distant so far. Winning formula and F40. Yellow and purple. A good stretch of color out there. Colors you don't normally see on car bodies. Are about even into the seesaw. F40 climbing back here through the seesaw, grinding on the outside line, comes to the inside to nudge the winning formula, but ends up hurting himself. And Formula 1 will pick up another win here. And that's one of the F40's best racers, so a tough loss for them, for him to be cut out right here. I think he should have just gone for it. Not gone for any sort of collision, but just tried to push to the end and race him in the back straight. Formula 1 with one vehicle hanging on, Ferrari with 3. Will the winning formula hold it out again? He won in the previous video where he featured. And it's time for him to come out and do it again and see if he can take the finals in the Conveyor Cup. Here we go. F40, winning formula. And it's about even. Here we go to the seesaw. And it's still even. Winning formula bounces out of the conveyor, but the F40 goes for a block and misses. Now the winning formula goes for a half K-turn. They're even. Coming out of the line, winning formula with a collision. He's backwards, but he has the win. I can't believe the race I just saw. That was an absolute mess between these two vehicles. Tangle of metal. But somehow the F1 team holds on for just one more, and the winning formula will have a shot in the finals. Really tough finish for both vehicles. And the Ferrari team is kicking themselves right now, but they will get to send one anyway. We have two Ferraris out there right now, and as you might have guessed from your seat on the sidelines, the blue F40 is definitely going to take this one. No contest at all. It's been the fastest of the the Ferrari team by far in this one. We head to the finals. This is it here in the Conveyor Cup. We have worked it all up to this after all of those videos and all of those teams. And this is a finals that won't feature the X-Racers team. We'll be first to win 2 as usual, And it will be the winning formula and the Ferrari F40 of blue color facing off here in the end. F40 on the near side here, looking to be the faster vehicle by a little bit, already stretching out to a length here down the hill. Here we go to the hairpin. Winning formula tries to fight back into it, down 2 lengths to the seesaw. Winning formula straightens out. He's speedy down the inside line, and he's going to have the win easily. F40 balks up there in the belt, and it's not going to be easy for him. He'll be down a race, but he can still pull back into it if he wins this one. We change lanes. Here we go. This is the race that could end it all if the winning formula can take this one. He's already down a length through sector 1, but that was the same as last time. F40 having the near side this time and looking very fast through the seesaw, and he'll have it by a few lengths. And this time it was kind of a mirror image of the previous race with the winning formula coming up behind at the end. We're even at 1, and in likeness, we'll go to that final race. Third race. This will decide it all. Whoever wins, wins the Conveyor Cup. F40 on the inside line, now to the outside, into the seesaw. Winning formula on the inside. F40 goes for a block, and he puts it on perfectly. 3 lengths ahead, 4, 5, 6, and he will cross the line and win the Conveyor Cup for the Ferrari team. What a way to finish. He is very bold out there, knows exactly when to put that defensive driving on, and that he did at the end. A good decision, and that will do it for the Conveyor Cup in a beautiful fashion. Thanks everyone for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to Races and Fun, and we'll see you in the next tournament here on the channel.